Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to New Life Live. Maybe you're tired of everything being canceled. We're not canceled. We're right here. And I'm so glad that you're with us here today, whether it's on Facebook or the NRB network, one of 200 stations, or Sirius XM. Wherever you see us, online or on the website, welcome. Glad you're here. Joining me, Chris Williams. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
And I hope and pray that we can provide somebody some real help today. I think that we can. I've got a lot of callers lined up. I'm going to go to them. I'll start. We held one man over at the end of the last program named Theo. We're going to go to him first. But I want to mention that for a gift of any amount, and if you're looking at Facebook Live, you can see this really cool book that Growth Has No Boundaries, and that's by John Townsend, Henry Cloud. We love these guys, and I'm telling you, they really did a great job on this. They wrote the book How We Grow, and this is kind of a condensed version of that, and full of great scripture and a foundation for all the Christian counseling that everybody could be doing if they were on the right track. So that's a gift of any amount. We'll send that to you by John and Henry, and hope you'll get it. And then I want to be sure that you know of our workshop coming up, and I always do a little short mention during this segment here, but we've got a great and amazing lineup of workshops, like our Marriage Intensive on July 25th. Boy, it would be great if you could get there and put everything back together. But let's go to Theo here. He called us earlier, and so Theo, sorry we didn't get time for your question. What is the question for Chris and me today?
If you're violated by a female, and to the point where you had decided to live celibate, but you were homeless, and they invited you into their home, gave you the master bedroom, and after 2 weeks they came and was on top of you, and the situation just got out of hand. All I'm saying is that I decided to go ahead and marry as a result of this experience. But I believe that it was an entrapment. You know, God said, "What I join together, let not man." I believe that was a lustful situation. I don't believe God was in there. But
what is the question for us then today?
My question is it possible for an entrapment, a satanic entrapment? For the scripture says that he that's joined to a whorelock become one flesh. Is there a soul tie, or is there a bond that was sexual? The Bible said every sin that a man commit is without the body, but he that commit fornication sin against his own body. So I'm
Theo,
saying that
Theo, this is a really tough situation for you, and I so feel for you that you were taken advantage of. And then I think you're saying that you feel like under duress you agreed to marry this person, and she's just not healthy, to say the least. I really think that you were on the right track there of just living a celibate life, praying for her, looking at some ways that maybe someone could help you with an intervention with her. Surely there's someone else there in the church you're in or the community that could come alongside you and just help her to see the reality of what she's doing. But it sounds like to me that you married her. She's not unfaithful. So it's really, really a tough situation. We'll be back after this.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
I believed that I could do it on my own. I just believed if I tried hard enough and pulled myself up hard enough by my bootstraps, I could do it. It was a battle that I'd had all my life. I had to get help.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, July 18th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
The single most helpful thing was to realize that I wasn't the weirdest guy on the planet.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Chris, want to make a quick comment there for Theo. Also, anything else you want to say to him?
Yeah, I just want to say this. It does sound like there are some really painful and unhealthy ways and damaging ways that your marriage had started, Theo. But the Bible is full of these stories of how God takes really broken things and redeems them over and over and over, and we see this relationally all the time. And so I think really building up hope with proper boundaries, but I like Theo getting his wife engaged in couples counseling, checking out and committing to, if they both can agree to it, intimacy in marriage, and getting resources like How We Love and working through it together.
I think that would be a good thing. I'll send it to him. It's never hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever hopeless. We just have to hang in there a little bit. And how about we go to Carrie from Riverdale, listening on WAVA. Hi, Carrie. Welcome. How are you today?
Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Chris is really easy to get along with, so I'm doing fine.
At least today.
Steve, I've been holding this phone in this one position because every time I tried to call, I kept getting a lot of static. So the lady that was on the line said, "Don't move." So I haven't did that for about 10 minutes.
Wow. Thank you so much. Did you have something you wanted to say?
I sure did, and it's directed to you and your staff, but especially you. This morning you made a comment, this afternoon, and you said it was during the racial tension and all of that.
Yeah.
And you said some things that were really, really, that needed to be said. You shouldn't feel that you're going to get backlash because people are always going to have something to say either way.
Yeah, that's true.
But me personally, being an African American, understand thoroughly what you said and what you stand for. I've been a contributor of New Life for a long time. I've been listening to you for years, and you and your staff have given me a lot of advice. Without my church and you, I don't know where I would be.
Wow.
Oh, man. Thank you.
I want to leave you with this, and it's a quote from Martin Luther King.
Oh, great.
It's very short, and it says, "There comes a time when one must take a position that's neither safe, political, or popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it's the right thing to do." And that's what you did today.
Well, Carrie, I so appreciate that. And, when you talk about the right thing to do, it's just always the right thing to do, to look within ourselves to see if there's anything we need to do. And so I'm so grateful. What an encouragement you are to me. You get caller of the day, and I'm going to send you a Restoration Bible. Thank you for that phone call. Really appreciate that. Hey, let's go to Cindy. Eugene, Oregon is where she listens, and she listens online. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Steve. It's so good to talk to you. I've listened to your show since 2008, I think, 2008.
Wonderful.
I'm a lifelong Christian. I was always busy at work, and I was married for 14 years with no kids, and he passed away in 95. And I've been celibate and single ever since. And I moved back to California because my parents, I had one brother left in my family. In 2017, I lost a lot. My dad passed away in August, and 11 days later, my mom passed away. Then a month later, her house was destroyed in a Tubbs fire in Santa Rosa. And
Wow.
I was reminded to move in. I was going to move into her house because I inherited her house. And it was gone, and it was almost done, and I'd been looking out. So I moved out of state. And now I'm isolated. I'm in a beautiful home. I mean, I'm in a lot of people would love to have this problem I'm having, but I'm isolated, and as soon as I moved here in February of this year, that pandemic came, and I feel kind of stuck. I don't really have family here. I don't know anyone.
So
And
what is
there's about 5 pieces I want.
what's the question for us then?
I don't know. I'm having trouble transitioning, and I've never felt so isolated, and I listen to Christian programming, and you guys are a real comfort, but
Well, I'm going to make
what.
I'll make a really obvious statement, then I'll let Chris answer this. Couldn't have picked a worse time to have to be transitioning. I mean, you didn't pick it, but it couldn't have come at a worse time. And in trying to move to a new place and connect with other people, what a horrible time this is, because people just aren't as available. So hang in there. And Chris, you have some insight here for her?
Yeah, Cindy, I just have a question. And you've been through a lot of loss, obviously, especially in your life, and it's really compiled in the last few years. And in the midst of the losses and the grief that we experience, God always seems to be up to something new through those experiences and those seasons in our life. So my question to you is, what do you sense God doing for you or doing in you right now?
I don't know what he's doing. That's the problem. I can't tell.
Okay.
I never know what's happening until it shows up, and then it's revealed. But it's like a big secret. I don't know.
Yeah. So
I'm
there's
not getting any.
So that sounds like it feels like your whole life feels kind of empty right now.
Yeah, pretty much. I have a lot of books and stuff. I ordered books from you guys, and
Well,
I just.
Yeah, but there's something that a radio program can't do. There's something that books can't do, and that is have a true dialogue conversation. To hear your heart and feed something back to you. So God created us as relational beings, and He's created us from relationship, in relationship, for relationship. And so it's really embedded in our DNA. And there was one thing in all of creation that wasn't good, and it wasn't good for man to be alone, for people to be alone. And I know we all experience that to a greater or lesser degree. And so I think during this time, it's really seeking out and praying towards and taking action towards, how do I build community? Where are the relationships here in this new place in Oregon that I could reach out to? Where are the churches? And really putting yourself out there and seeing where, you can build connection.
And I would just say this, that as things open up, I mean, they may not continue to, but you be as available as the world is open. And so just take some, look at the one of the churches there if you're not involved with one. And then, I don't know what that's about, but look at the churches there, and okay. All right, we're just having a little trouble. But you look at the churches there, and you find one that seems like that's a great church to be part of. And then as it opens up, you go, you meet people, you connect. I mean, really, there's kind of no other way. But while you're doing it, you sure do have to stay safe. That's the main thing. Yeah. We've taken all of our workshops online and not meeting face-to-face, and we're astounded at the results that these guys bonding through these Zoom calls where the speaker's speaking to everybody, and then they break up into 6 or so in a group with a clinical therapist. And the results really are astounding. The kind of bonding, the weeping, the repentance that's going on and just walking out with a whole new way of life. We want that for you, but you'd have to call us and we'll tell you all about it, whether it's every man's battle or maybe it's finding freedom or lose it for life. It could be intimacy in marriage. Transformational experiences that I would love for you to be part of. Let's go to Diane. Diane's calling from Washington, D.C., and she listens to WAVA. Hi, Diane. How are you today?
Good afternoon, and God bless you. I am blessed and extremely grateful on the first day of my retirement.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm going to have to send you a retirement restoration Bible special. So I'll send you that wonderful Bible.
Grateful.
Yeah. How can we help today?
Thank you so much. Well, I just want to say thank you for being such a blessing to so many people in the kingdom of God. But my question, you just now mentioned, what my question was, after listening through 2 programs, you just mentioned, and you gave me the answer already. I am concerned for 2 people in my family, my son and my sister. Both of them struggle with, eating.
How heavy are they?
My son is probably 6'1", I don't know, maybe 350 or so. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He bought a scale that he can't even get on until it gets to 300 pounds, which he struggles up, and they go up and down and up and down and up and down all the time.
And does he want to do something different?
Well, I'm sure they would be. At least I know my sister probably would be open to hearing about some opportunities to learn and to do some things. I thought when you mentioned this before, I thought about it. I said, well, neither one of them have any money, but I would help them, whatever it is, whatever it takes, because I love them so much. I would just want them, to have a free and a more valuable life for themselves.
Okay.
So.
And how heavy is your daughter? What kind of?
I'd like to know about it.
Okay. How heavy is your daughter?
No, that's my sister.
Your
sister. How heavy is she?
I'm not perfectly sure what her weight is.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if she lives in another state, but I know that she and he are like mother and daughter. They're so much alike, the 2 of them. Even though he's my son, he could really be her son.
It is just, it's given me so much joy to have people that have gone up and down all their lives, life out of control. They get involved with Lose It for Life, which is working on the weight problem from the inside out. The it is all that stuff that drives it. And to see them experience the freedom and to just a little bit at a time, the weight starts to go off and stay off. I've also, the opposite of that, of course, I've worked with so many people who had bariatric surgery or some kind of operation, and the weight just fell off. I mean, it was astounding how much weight they were able to lose with this operation, whatever it was, whatever form. And then you saw misery still there, anxiety still there, shame or depression, and the eating for comfort and medication began, and they would override whatever the procedure did. Little at a time, things would start to stretch, and you'd see the weight start to come back on, but this time kind of all fat and destructive weight. And so I would love for him to come, Diane. Now you hold on. You might be able to, we might be able to get some kind of double admission special or early bird special to make it as affordable as possible. But what a great thing that you want them to live the kind of life that you know they can live. And it is, when it's there, it is horrific. So thank you, for
Steve,
calling us.
Also, I just have to mention this. One of the most powerful testimonies I ever read was from a Lose It for Life conference attendee. And she said that I went in really wanting to address my weight, but I walked out losing 100 pounds off of my burdened soul.
Don't you love that?
And that's the thing. Is like you were saying before, and kind of our theme is that, listen, we have these outside things we want to work on, but if we're going to really make progress, we got to go on the inside. And God works an inside-out job on us, and man, does it make a difference.
I'll tell you, that inside-out formula is hard to beat. It's pretty tough, but it works for good forever, inside out. At 5 o'clock today, 5 Eastern, I'm going to be doing Facebook Live, and we're just going deeper. I'd love to have you join us. I think there's a topic there every now and then that you'll relate to. Facebook Live, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, don't forget, a gift of any amount. Growth has no boundaries. Send it right to you. Doesn't matter what you send. I'm going to send that to you. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll be back right after this message. 1-800-229-3000 if you're watching on Facebook Live. We'll be back after this.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. Hope that you're having a great day today. We're having one here. Gift of any amount. Growth has no boundaries. John Townsend, Henry Cloud. And how about we go right back to, well, we'll go to Eileen. And Eileen calling from St. Peter is what it says here, but I bet it's St. Petersburg. Is that right?
That is correct. It's St. Petersburg, Florida. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it. I'm calling because I love my sister dearly, and we are having some communication issues. We come from we're both in our 60s, by the way, and we come from a very dysfunctional family where there was always conditions to the love. I can't even count how many times my mom cut me off, cut her off, cut different kids off. When I was 8 or 9, my mom kicked my brother Tommy out of the house because he was dating a Protestant girl. He was 17 years old. I didn't see him again until I was 15.
Wow.
So
that's
to
rough.
give you an idea of that.
Yeah, sure.
So we both have learned that. I want to acknowledge that we both have learned that. I have struggled with it. I'm towards the bottom. From a family of 9 kids, I'm towards the bottom. I haven't experienced it as much as my sister did, but we've all learned it. I hate it. I hate it when you're having a disagreement and they go, well, I just don't want to be with you anymore, and then they don't talk to you for months or weeks or months or years. And so we've kind of had something like that happen recently, and she's done it to me in the past, and I've talked to her about it. I have approached her about it. when it happened a few years ago after my mom passed away, and we went a while without talking, and it really hurt my spirit. And when we were making up, and I told her, I said, I want to ask you, please don't threaten me with that. Please don't do things like that. It hurts my heart, and it makes me feel unloved. And right now, sadly, my son has learned this behavior. I haven't had a relationship with him in 10 years. So She knows all that, and it's really sensitive for me. So
what's the question for us then? How are you wanting us to help you?
How do I approach? I want to know how I can approach her. I asked her if she would have, because I wanted to talk to her about it again, and I haven't been able to get through to her. I wanted her to have just a conversation with a third party. She sees a counselor. I see a counselor. We both embrace these things.
Okay.
So I wanted her to do that, and she's refused, and I don't know what to do with it from here.
Mm-hmm. What if you were not able to move her to any better emotional place at all? What would you do? Well, you'd start to grieve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd come to accept that she's not going to change. And then you'd live your life without so much hurt and bitterness and anger. I really, in hearing this, I think you're expecting something from her. She is so troubled. I don't think she can give it. But let's hear from Chris what he's thinking as I'm saying these things. Chris, what do you think?
I think the first thing I hear, Eileen, that it breaks my heart is that when people withhold their love or when they abandon themselves from relationship, and again, in that emotional cutoff.
Exactly.
When that happens early and often, what we then believe is we adopt their pain or we adopt their bad relational behavior as something about us. And that's where the genesis of shame comes in, the starting point. Therefore, because they can't show up for me or they can't work through difficult things, and because they leave me, it must mean that I am unlovable, that I don't matter. Right. Okay, so now your identity, Eileen, is constantly tied to their inability to show up for you. You will feel out of control the rest of your life. So the work then, like Steve was saying, is that I can no longer tie my identity, who I am, and how I feel about myself to the way that they treat me. And that takes a lot of work, and it does take time, and it does take an intentionality that my sister can't work through hard things and can't have hard conversations. And it has nothing to do with my value in the world. It has nothing to do with my worthiness for love.
Mm-hmm.
But that will require you finding other relationships in your life, safer people in your life, to engage in sharing life together.
What do you think?
I understand, and I agree with. I understand, and I agree with what you're saying. But the downside to it is that, if I don't want to be in a relationship with her because I'm afraid of being hurt, because it hurts.
Yeah.
And it's a trust issue.
Yes.
So I don't understand, since I guess for me, I'm having a really hard time with the fact that she's being so adamant about not wanting to heal it, and then that's another thing of rejection for me.
Well,
it's like we both.
But Eileen, I want to repeat something that Steve told you. You have to believe her. You just have to, because that's what she's telling you.
Her
that she doesn't want it, and that begins the painful, grieving part.
Well, now she's saying she does want to have a relationship, and when I asked her about this, I'm like, I think it would be better if we talk to somebody so that we can figure out a way together that we can communicate better. And it's so frustrating because I want to have a great relationship with her, and we've spent most of our lives not being close.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm just struggling with whether or not I should just go back to not having a relationship with her and go on with all the people who do love me without making me feel like this.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to go to a break. Chris and I are going to talk a little bit. We'll give you one final insight here. You're listening to New Life Live, 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you need some help.
After I found the pornography on the internet, I said, you either get help or I have to leave this household.
Every day, thousands of women discover their husband is struggling with sexual integrity. And since shelter-in-place orders have gone into effect, traffic to porn sites has skyrocketed. New Life's Every Man's Battle workshop can help.
Every Man's Battle, I fought it the whole week with my wife. Within 2 hours, you could have opened a book and showed me where my life has been ever since I was a little boy.
The Every Man's Battle workshop can be a trip to the sexual addiction emergency room. During this time of social distancing, the Every Man's Battle workshop will be held online Saturday, July 18th. Find sexual integrity, accountability, and connection. Register now to reserve a place at the Every Man's Battle online workshop. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
He said, this may have saved my life.
Every Man's Battle was a life-changing experience for me and a marriage-saving experience for me.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEWLIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the Transformation Welcome Gift, which includes a personal-sized Life Recovery Bible, a Life Recovery Journal, and 5 Life Recovery Workbooks. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and one just final perspective here from Chris for Eileen, whose very dysfunctional and hurtful mother wants a relationship. Chris?
So, Eileen, with your sister, you know, you guys really haven't had the experience of a healthy relationship. And what I hear is that you want this closeness, but the closeness has never been there. Relationships are messy. And so when we overshoot our expectations of what we want this to be, and when they're not that, we fall into disappointment. There's actually this called vacillating, you know. Now, this is going to be hard, but I want to point out something that I heard from you, and I'm going to sum it up like this, and that is, if the relationship can't be what I want it to be, then maybe I shouldn't want it at all. So it's actually repeating the pattern of that cutoff. So here is the challenge, Eileen, and I believe you're up to the challenge. The challenge is accepting the relationship for what it is, not what you want it to be. And then moving slowly and moving intentionally and having maybe lighter conversations. We may not be able to resolve all of it. And I do like the idea of you guys being able to work some of the deeper things out in a therapy office. But you said it well. You need to build trust. So building trust in the relationship is a slow process done, you know, conversation by conversation, bit by bit.
Yeah. So I'm glad you called. I hope that's helpful. I am going to send you How We Love, which is going to give you so much insight into your relationship with her and how that has played out. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. All right, let's go to Dave. He's calling us from Nashville, Tennessee. And hold on here. Let's find Dave. Dave is right over here, line 4. Hi, Dave. Dave, how are you? WDNX, I believe it is.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Great. What can we help you with?
I have, my question is that I want to just know if I'm overthinking in this situation. I'm married just a month ago, and
okay.
We are from different backgrounds, and I noticed a few things because we haven't been living close since. For 1 year, we haven't been living close since we met, and we met for more than about almost 2 years. We got married. So I realized that she have kids, and I have kids, but my kids not living with us. I realized certain things with the kids, some principle they don't have, stuff like that. And she always put aside program that is between two of us. Not always. I identify she do it once, and I talked to her. She was upset and all stuff like that.
Okay, so let's get to the heart of that problem. What is the main issue you're having to deal with?
I think it's a little bit of selfishness, self-centeredness.
Okay, so
I always get put down.
Okay, so self-centered, selfish wife. What's the question for us?
I want to know if I'm overthinking. The fact that
No, I don't think you're overthinking. I mean, it sounds like to me, and this happens all the time, that she's not in attune with you, and she's got her own life there, and you're not really coming much into, or your feelings aren't coming much into the equation. Chris, what's your thought?
Yeah, I would say you're not overthinking it, but what I want you to be able to do, Dave, is to start being in tune with how you feel it. There's an intuition inside of you that says, hey, we're already drifting off apart from each other 1 month into marriage. I want to caution you not to put labels on it right now, not to put like selfish or, not to judge her. Because again, getting married, especially with blended families, is incredibly complicated and can be very, very difficult. So it takes time to work this out, but it does take intentionality. I believe what your gut is telling you is good. There is a pattern that's starting off here that I don't precedent in the marriage. So we got to address the distance between us and what I'm experiencing, because Dave, you don't want resentment to creep back in your heart and cause that divide between you and your wife. So yeah, you want to work this out together and see if you guys can get into a conversation about what you're feeling and seeing how she can respond to it. Also be open to what she's experiencing. That's critically important. And all of the competing desires in people in her life, and really come together to work on this as a unit.
I think that's the invitation to her. It doesn't sound like she's going to be open to much, but sometimes if we just honestly say, I'm just feeling like something's missing here, could we just talk to a third person that could help us? I think we'd both benefit from it. So you're not accusing her of anything or giving her a label or anything like that. Maybe that would help her to open up. All right, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. By the way, for Dave, I think I'm going to send him a copy of Take Your Life Back. I really think when there's this kind of strong drive, uncaring selfishness there, boy, the other person can really benefit from Take Your Life Back. Larry Sonnenberg's in the studio. Larry, let's tell some people about how we're helping folks and how they could help us.
Well, I want to start with a testimony from a marriage workshop. We have a workshop coming up July 25th online on Zoom.
Right.
It's a one-day thing. It's going to be fantastic. And here's what somebody wrote that attended a recent workshop. Pardon me. Okay, so much healing and restoration happened this weekend. I can't begin to put it into words. God used New Life to save my life and our marriage. Thank you so much for the genuine love, caring, and compassion all of you have for each individual. Steve's humor immediately puts you at ease, and without a doubt, you know you're in a safe place. Mylan and Kay's journey and wisdom is so powerful, and their vulnerability to share it is so powerful and healing. Steve's talks touch the heart in such a way that you cannot deny the power of the Lord working and how he touches the soul. So, folks, that's why we seek your support. Somebody's marriage and life was saved. It doesn't get much better than that. And we need individual gifts. We need folks to sign up for Club New Life. And if you can't afford coming to a workshop, we have scholarships, and there's an application. It's pretty simple to fill out. It's not threatening, but you can give to the scholarship fund as well. We're always looking for help and for folks that can help us grow that fund. We never want money to be a reason somebody says they didn't go to a workshop.
Absolutely. Well, the phone number, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I'll send you gift of any amount. You'll get growth has no boundaries. We've always had partners. And when you become a part of our family, giving family, every time somebody's helped, you see a transformation, you're part of that. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. All right, let's go to Michelle, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. WFIL is this station. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
How could we help?
So my question is, me and my husband been through some things in our marriage. We've been married almost 5 years. Now we have, well, it seems like the 5 years been rocky than ever. It's like barely happy times since we got married. And I know that's expected in the first couple of years, but it's just, I don't know. It's still hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
We've been sleeping in separate rooms for like years.
That's so sad.
Like yeah, and it hasn't been any intimacy in like 3 years.
Mm.
So
well,
it's
this
like it
okay.
doesn't even seem like a marriage.
So this is one of those cases where I hate for somebody to call and then I tell you about a workshop. But I don't know of an answer for you other than you guys being part of that intimacy in marriage intensive. We've had people who haven't been intimate with each other in 5 years, sometimes even longer, and they have rebuilt the bond that's there. You're not going to get it by reading a book, and I don't think you're going to get it even by getting into marriage counseling. That's second best. But maybe marriage counseling could help you some. But this is what the Intimacy in Marriage Weekend is for. Your situation designed exactly for that. What a sad thing for your marriage to die before you die. I think if you came, we'd get you back in the same bedroom. That's what I think. And I think you'd enjoy the rest of your life with your husband, being connected. I've never seen a case that was impossible. I've never seen it. So I'm just going to encourage you to encourage him. Let's just do this. You stay in your home, and it's never been more affordable, more accessible. We just see people have results they never dreamed possible. So we want to tell you about that off the air. Boy, I hope they'll come.
On Friday night, we got into an argument, and I stayed in the car outside for 2 hours. I knew what the right thing to do was to go.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop will be held online Saturday, July 25th.
You know, I know this stuff. I hear it, I read it, and I'm always getting in my own way. I'm always expecting my wife to go first.
Join Steve Arterburn.
We believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group leaders will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com.
My biggest takeaway was to just get out of my way and go first.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Sometimes people, you're at a stalemate and people say, well, you need to learn how to communicate. Well, you could just learn how to say you hate each other better. That's not going to help anybody. I mean, we want to look at every area, and we do that in the Intimacy and Marriage Intensive. I really hope that if you're struggling at all, that you'll call us. Here's our call. Diane is calling us from WLTA right there in Atlanta. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing okay. How can we help you?
Good. Well, okay, I'm just going to ask the question. My daughter is going to get married in a couple of months, and I just found out that her fiance has a foot fetish. He gets online and does whatever he does, and I want to know, should I say something to him? My daughter's gotten angry with him, but I don't know if I should say something or just stay out of it.
Okay, so somebody can have a proclivity to something, and it's kind of a quirky thing, and it stays with them all of their life. Many times they find where in the world that came from, and they don't have it anymore. But going online and connecting with other people, not acceptable as engaged, really not acceptable as married. And so I don't think you should have a talk with him at all. I think you have a talk with your daughter and tell her whatever we're seeing now will only get worse after you eat the wedding cake and the ugly old other foot comes forward. And in his case, in the foot fetish, he's putting his best foot forward, but it's not free. So, Chris, what do you think here?
Yeah, this really is about intimacy, and I think you got to be careful by addressing him because of the nature of the relationship. But I do think you need to continue having conversations with your daughter and your concern for her, because this is the area that she needs to really step forward and put her foot down on what she believes will be acceptable or unacceptable for the marriage. And so this is about, right now, your daughter's growth in the process, and your daughter's heart that needs to be protected here.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I always said the same thing. Once you see what you see, it gets 10 times worse when you marry it. So
yes. Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all, and thank y'all for what y'all do, and thank you.
All right. I think that there are so many people that, well, first of all, many people don't see the reality of what's there in the other person. But then when they do, they think it's going to get better, and they maybe they get angry, but they don't do anything else. I mean, if I was married to somebody and they had a foot fetish and they were going online with that, I'd say, hey, either you're going to get some help, you're going to commit to not being online, or I think we're done here, because it's just going to be a mess. I'm just wondering, Chris, if you've ever seen anybody deal with it and get over it, get through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say this. It's complicated. We're all sexually broken to a greater or lesser degree. Again, it's not equal. But when we start facing up to the things that are in our life, usually the relational wounds that we have and the ways that we've coped with them, what oftentimes happens is that we sexualize our relational pain. And what that means is that the hurts that we have, we find an outlet to soothe it in some sort of sexual experience.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that can become an addictive or an obsessive or compulsive process that then hijacks future relationships. So we got to go address the behavior. We've got to address the pain that drives the behavior, and then we got to learn how to be authentically intimate and build healthy relationships with ourselves, with others, and obviously with God.
Here's the thing. Whenever you have the foot fetish, it doesn't just exist on its own by itself with no pull or momentum in other areas. Already she's angry. So now it's split the relationship. So why not find out how in the world this happened to you? What was that traumatic or interesting or really strange event?
Yeah, what was
that
the hook?
What may have led to this? What was it? And let's deal with that. Let's talk about it, make it safe to talk about, and then now we maybe can get to the heart of this. Here's something you may not, I haven't said this in a long time. Life makes sense. Pretty profound, I know. But life makes sense. If something like that's there, there's a reason it's there. And we, if all of a sudden he went blind and couldn't see feet, then he'd be forced to do something else, start smoking or whatever. There'd be another kind of compulsion. But when we get to the heart and we deal with what's inside, then that's how there's a change. Wouldn't it be great if he says, this is going to destroy my marriage, and so I am going to enter into whatever kind of help I need, and I'm going to invite my future wife to join me, and we're going to make this a place of bonding here. We'll put off the wedding. I know she's uneasy about that. I'm going to get this taken care of. Wouldn't you rather take care of it once and for all, be free, than live and feel kind of like you're second-class Christian, and I've felt like that before, or feel shame and just hoping that people don't find out all there is to find out about you? Well, if you want some help, we'll help you. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You don't have to have any specific problem to call. You can just call and say, I'm in a bad mood. What do you have to help me? I'm in a bad mood with this virus keeping me down and shut in. I don't like it one bit, but I just live with it, and we make the best of it. And we've had some family time we wouldn't have had without that. So anyway, good things can come from it, including these workshops. Every Man's Battle is July the 18th. That's not far away. I really wish you could do that one. If there's any kind of struggle in that area, then we've got Intimacy in Marriage online, July 25th. Lose It for Life. That's the weight loss. Going to do that again. And I think you'll love it. August 1st. And then Finding Freedom, August 8th, and then we'll do our Restore workshop in the fall also. Chris, anything you want to add to anything we want our audience to know today?
A big theme today is that if you work on the inside, the outsides get better. And it's not that the outsides get different, it's that our relationship to them gets different. And so our true way to freedom is figuring out what's our wounding and what's our sin and what's our hurts on the inside, allowing others in, allowing God in, and starting that healing inside out, and our life will get turned in a really good way inside out. And mostly right side up.
I believe that. So much of my life I kind of thought relationship was optional, and I was the loner. I know it's not optional, and I know that you may have some strange ideas about relationship and think that they're optional too, or that even though the other person is 70% of the problem and you're just 30%, that nothing can be done. We can always work on our 30% on our side of the street. Take Your Life Back is a great book to help you with that. Healing is a Choice is a great book to bond over the reality of your relationship and how to move forward. My thanks to Chris Williams. Thank you, Chris. Thanks to all of you who listen and watch and pray for us and support us. 1-800-NEW-LIFE if you need help or if you can help us. See you on Facebook Live, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We love you. We care about you. We want the best for you and your family. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you. But you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.